Joining us now is investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, whose NewsNation interview with whistleblower David Grusch is what led to today's hearing. Ross, always great to have you. Grusch first said to you on this network, and we heard him say it today under oath, he absolutely believes the U.S. government has craft of non-human origin and that he knows exactly where the government is keeping it.
He does, and in fact, he's actually provided a very specific list and details to the Congress already in secret hearings that have taken place. As he also offered to provide to this committee, the Oversight Committee, he's also prepared to provide them with a specific hostile and cooperative list of witnesses. He's not pulling his punches. He's got evidence. He's collated that evidence, and those witnesses are prepared to give evidence, I can assure you. I'm aware of some of those witnesses myself, and I'm aware of people who purport to be in the legacy program who say that they too are prepared to give evidence. So I don't think this is the last of this. We're going to see in the next few months a rollout of, I think, some quite astonishing allegations.
Yeah, we heard the pledge from all the members of Congress today that this will continue. Grusch said today that he had spoken to 40 people, 40, who had worked in this, as you called it, the legacy secret program.
Yeah, and I think this is the point. A lot of the people who've dismissed Mr. Grusch's claims before today's hearing, they've ignored the fact that Mr. Grusch was essentially appointed to investigate this for the Pentagon. So operating under the auspices of the UAP task force, he went out and did the investigations that he was tasked to do as a result of laws that were passed by the Congress. So he's doing the right thing. He's basically gone out, found this information, been frustrated by reprisals and threats, and as a result of that, he's gone to the Inspector General of the intelligence community, provided that information to the IG, and moreover, this is the thing that people have largely missed. Corroborative witnesses gave evidence to the Inspector General already. So we could easily fix this very quickly. The Inspector General of the intelligence community could be called to Congress, and in an open hearing, he could be asked, has he verified?
So many of Grusch's answers today, he said, I can't answer that. It's classified. I'm happy to give that information to you in a SCIF. They could call the IG. They could also finally get access to a SCIF, which has thus far been denied the committee.
Look, it's quite obvious that somebody is running interference on this issue. I mean, I think the simple fact is that if the Pentagon wanted to be cooperative, it could be. And I think the people in charge of this have to remember that they want to be on the right side of history, because there is a huge momentum now behind this issue. Just seeing the media response, the public response, the fact that there are so many people now who are contacting me, I think there's a momentum here. And frankly, there is no way that this is going to be put back in a box. There is going to have to be public hearings and private hearings, and those legacy program witnesses are going to be able to give their evidence to the Congress, as indeed some of them have already done so. Because this is the point, Elizabeth, Congress already knows the answers privately. Evidence has already been taken by the Senate Select Committee for Intelligence, and I suspect also the HIPSI, the House Committee for Intelligence. They've already deposed witnesses who have corroborated Mr. Grusch's claims. So we're in this very weird situation where the Oversight Committee is now engaged. And one of the issues with the Oversight Committee is I question whether it has the degree of security classification authorization.
No, that's the issue, because that's why we should explain. A SCIF is a secure room where members of Congress and others can view classified information, but it's highly, highly secure. You can't take things out of the SCIF. Nobody can hear or eavesdrop into the SCIF. And that's the problem. There might have been briefings to the Select Committee on Intelligence, but today's committee, the Oversight Committee, has not had access to the IG classified complaint, has not had access, and was denied access to go into the SCIF and read these classified documents. So that was a little bit of the frustration there. And David Grusch has filed a whistleblower complaint alleging that he faced serious repercussions for going to Congress already with his claims. He said today that his colleagues were, quote, brutally administratively attacked. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.